Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Matt from the Matt Night Show, and I'm with who?
Ice, baby. What up, though?
What's going on, man? So recently, auto workers get screwed by Trump. Let's go straight into the clip. Run it, Josh.
Run the clip.
Read it. Read it, Ice. Let me know what they say.
The Trump administration failed the U.S. auto industry, and the Canada-China deal proves it.
So people are talking about this deal. So what ends up happening is that China is about to flood Canada with tons of cheap EVs, right? Because of Trump and Trump pulling out of Canada and pushing against Canada and trying to bully Canada. What's your thoughts, Ice?
Man, I mean, it's like full circle. All of this is coming full circle. I mean, first and foremost, I thought we were going to be winning. Okay, I'm waiting for the winning because this don't seem like winning to me. This feels, looks, quacks, talks like a losing situation for us. And again, China's just sitting back laughing like, oh my gosh, look at the Americans. I mean, they literally just laughing at us, bro. That's how it is. And it's just so embarrassing because all I heard, Matt, in 2024 election, I was talking to people. I was traveling the country, talking to people, just kind of getting a sense of who people wanted to vote for, why they were voting for, why they wanted to vote for. And the number one thing they would say was Trump is strong on the economy. He's going to bring back jobs. And I heard this mainly from people who worked in the auto industry. And I was trying to understand their rationale. Like, wait a minute, Trump, the guy that's for the billionaires, going to be for you? I mean, it was hilarious, Matt. But here we are now. Now you talk to those same people because I see him at the gym sometimes. I see him in passing, and I say, "Hey, how about that vote, man?" And they're like, "Man, I don't even want to talk about the news, man. I don't even want to talk." You know what I'm saying? They ducking and dodging, and I'm like, "No, say it with your chest. You voted for President Trump, and now this is what you got. So say it with your chest now. You know?"
Yeah, man. Good points. Good points. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to run the clip that happened right before the 2024 election, right? And all the workers were proud to vote for Trump. You know, I don't know if they proud now, but we're going to run the clip, Ice, man. And I want to hear your reactions, bro. So if you see something that, just let me know, bro. So run a clip, Josh.
Candidates are heading into the campaign season's closing stretch that traditionally kicks off on Labor Day. Former President Donald Trump was off the trail today and over the weekend, but on the offensive online. He'll speak to the Fraternal Order of Police later this week. Meanwhile, labor was the theme for Democrats with several events in blue wall states. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Biden made their first joint campaign appearance since the convention before an organized labor audience in Pittsburgh. Earlier, Harris also made a pitch for unions in Detroit.
Everywhere I go, I tell people, look, you may not be a union member. You better thank a
Yeah, something, Ice?
No, I'm just simply saying. I mean, Biden, he look old, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. He looked like the Crypt Keeper, bro. I thought he was,
bro.
He was just, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, man, he looked bad, bro. No, I ain't want to say it, but I would say that. Like I said, man, all you heard from a lot of people who voted for Trump last year, I don't hear from these guys. Yeah. You know, it's just like crickets now, and it's just so bad because, again, you can't just leave a mess and then walk away and just say, oh, well, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't want to talk about that. So anyways, I'm on a tangent, but go ahead, Matt.
No.
Union member for the 5-day work week. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. What we know is when union wages go up, everybody's wages go up.
The candidates are fighting to win key Midwestern states like Michigan, where Harris was today and where Trump was just a few days ago. Both are determined to get as much of the union vote there as they can. But as our economics correspondent Paul Solomon reports, Trump has also shown surprising strength among some workers.
I remember my mom crying for days when John F. Kennedy was assassinated.
Retired United Auto Workers member Brian Panabecker.
So yours was a Democratic family?
Yep, because we were always told, well, the Democrats are for the little guy, the working man.
But he's an avid Donald Trump supporter now, one of many who like Trump's positions on trade, tariffs, and taking on China.
I put 30 auto workers into a group called Auto Workers for Trump on Facebook. It grew organically to 3,800 people.
Please welcome the president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters,
As for the much larger Teamsters union, its president, Sean O'Brien, actually spoke on day one of the Republican National Convention, although he didn't endorse Donald Trump.
We all know how Washington is run. Working people have no chance of winning this fight. That's why I'm here today, because I refuse to.
Bro, when he said working people have no chance of winning this fight, it was no claps, bro. It was no claps.
You know, it was no claps. And on top of that, I just find it so rich. I mean, obviously, he tried to play both sides of the fence here. He wanted to make sure he appeased the Trump administration. I mean, Trump and his team if they won, but also he wanted to make sure if Harris and them won as well, he left a little room open for that. But at the end of the day, Trump
Got him.
Trump got these people, man. And it's just so sad to see it now because, again, we got to remind you guys, we're playing history. This happened, you know, during the 2024 election campaign. This is we're reacting to it now. So we're looking back at history, short history, recent history to show you what's happening right now and why people voted the way they voted.
Yep. Anything else you wanted to say before we continue?
Go.
Okay, run it, Josh.
Keep doing the same things my predecessors did.
And so the question, is the union vote, so long thought to be faithfully Democrat, swinging Republican? Brian Panabecker lives just outside True Blue Detroit, holds his political truths to be self-evident.
I just believe that the Republicans now, with their lower taxes and support of family values, is better for the average working men and women of this country than the Democrats.
At a Teamsters local of oil refinery workers near Detroit, we heard much of the same.
Of course, we're going to try to elect somebody that's going to be more pro-oil, right? Drill, baby, drill.
Refinery worker, drill, baby, drill.
I am a refinery worker, yes. I am all for keeping my job. I'm all for America being self-sufficient on energy, our reserves being topped off to the top. I'm all for us being independent. So, yes.
But more important to Bill Kirkland, cancel culture.
If you don't agree with me, you're on the other side of the line. We hate your guts.
The Teamsters have always been the more Republican-leaning union.
Longtime Detroit journalist Mickey Maynard.
And it goes back to Nixon, because Nixon pardoned Jimmy Hoffa. And the members of the Teamsters union remembered that.
The Teamsters also supported Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush. And even auto workers began defecting in Macomb County, a northern suburb of Detroit, back in 1980, the Reagan Democrats.
Man, I had to kind of stop this, man, because this stuff is kind of crazy, right? You know, like my guy said, bro. Ice, you there? You there, Ice? I think you might be muted.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to say, man, my guy brought it up, man. My man said, hey, man, I'm all for America being independent, man. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
Well, it's just so funny. I think a lot of times it's the difference between rhetoric, like, oh, Trump talks the talk, or we feel this type of way about China and policy. And this, again, these are a lot of people who have access to grind. They're mad at the Democratic the Democratic Party for whatever reason. And I'm not saying that their reasons are not valid. Their reasons are maybe very, very valid. However, that doesn't mean you vote for Magneto. Okay, that doesn't mean if you're on the X-Men side, you don't vote for the bad guy. And Trump has no indication that he was for the little guy. And I don't know where they got that from. Like Trump is actually for the little guy, because if they actually paid a little bit in attention to his tracker and background, they would realize that he stiffs the little guy. He just, that's just how he is. So it's just so funny how they come to the conclusion that Trump is their guy.
I mean, how you feel about that? Like, because remember when they were doing the add-on to the White House, right? He didn't even use union workers.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, that is crazy. Like, I'm not surprised, but again, I think at this whole thing, Matt, if we look back at this 30 years from now, 40 years from now, and our ancestors, we're a little bit older, we're going to see that this is the worst time in history for Americans. Like, Americans were so delusional. It's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of that when you out of a breakup and you're in transition from a breakup and you get a rebound. I feel like Trump was America's rebound. He really was, because Americans have been so dissatisfied for years and years and years with the politics and the way things were becoming more a global society. And it was just harder for America to compete, and how multi-corporations just literally screwed a lot of us over. So that we move over to this point now where they felt like, Trump is saying the right things, just like that person that was courting you when you was on a rebound. They were saying the right things, saying all the good things, and saying the stuff that make you want to hear, and you just feeling really good about it until actually you're in a relationship with that person and you realize, like, hey, they're actually really abusive, or they don't listen, or they don't care about my needs. And that's what Trump is, and that's what you can see right here.
Now, I have a question for you too, Ice, because you always bring this up. Like, we see this headline, obviously. We talked about that at the start of the show, and you kind of get here. How do you explain that these people, to the American population, that the people who were the biggest supporters voted for their own demise? Like, how do we
Whew, man, that's a hard one. That is a really hard one. Again, people have cognitive dissonance. They would do the most diabolical thing. Okay, they would do something super diabolical, but then when the consequences come, they don't want nothing to be associated with that. Perfect example is Elon Musk. Dude literally was talking about this whole Doge thing, and a lot of people can get behind government waste and fraud, abuse, and waste, and ridding that stuff out the system. Most people can understand that and say, okay, I'm with that. I was even with the idea of it, not Doge, because I knew Doge was a scam, but the idea of getting rid of government waste, fraud, and abuse. However, the problem is that wasn't his agenda. Okay, his agenda was to gain access to our data, gain access for government contracts, and be able to siphon money off of the American people. That was his what he wanted to do. Now, when Doge became a complete failure, what did Elon Musk do? He ran away. He went out of the country for a couple months, and just literally left. He don't talk about Doge. He don't mention Doge. He don't say nothing about Doge. So bringing it back down to the American worker that voted for Trump, again, I see these people at the gym. I see these people at the coffee shops, and I just simply ask them and say, man, how's your vote working with you, man? Do you regret your vote? Do you feel like you'd do something else? If you can go back to 2024, would you have voted differently? You want to know what they say, Matt and listener? Man, they say, oh man, I don't even talk about the news, man. I don't even watch the news no more, man. Oh man, they want to change subject. They don't want to talk about it. They just don't. Yeah. So I find that interesting.
No, and I want to just go through just maybe a few more minutes of this, right? And just kind of see it. I want to break it down a little before we close out. Run a clip, Josh.
As imports undercut the U.S. auto industry, Brian Panabecker lives in Macomb, blames Democrats for the decline.
Blame Biden. Do you remember a presidential candidate named Ross Perot? And he said, if we elect Bill Clinton at that time and NAFTA is signed into law, you'll hear a giant sucking sound. And that'll be all of our jobs leaving and going to Mexico. Well, in essence, that's exactly what did happen.
What many blue-collar workers think today, says Mickey Mainley.
There is this idea that you used to be able to drive a truck or work in a car plant, and you can own a home, and maybe you can own a vacation home and send your kids to college and have 2 cars and retire comfortably. And that today, it doesn't exist in the way that it once did.
So pretty much the American dream doesn't exist the way that it used to. And that's what it comes down to. The American dream doesn't exist the way it used to. What you got to say about that, Ice?
Well, I don't know. Trump.
I love the Mexican people in their spirit.
It's interesting about that. I feel like our life and our lifestyle is changing right before our eyes. Most people can feel it. They can see it. But this is what we call the new America. Okay, the new America is you're going to pay a premium price for basic necessities, just basic stuff. Everything's premium, and you got to pay to play. It's a pay to play scheme right now that we have. And I honestly believe the billionaires, they're coming for us. Okay, they were mad. They were completely mad during the pandemic when the American people, the American worker got just a little bit of power, just a little bit of negotiation power to say, you know what? I don't know if I want to work at this job, or y'all gonna have to pay me a premium to work here. And I feel like it's been this backlash ever since 2020. And it's been so weird because now corporations, they're using AI to just lay off thousands and thousands of people. And Trump and his administration has literally gave them the go ahead to do it. Now the American worker, I mean, you go to Taco Bell, you paying $60, $70 for a family at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To get some new shoes for a family of 4 to go back to school or something like that, man, you paying top dollar. It's just insane.
No, and I say this too. I think you just have a lost public, bro. Like they're looking at it and they know that America's changing and they don't even know what to do, man. They just like Republican, Democrat. They don't know what to do. They don't even know they don't know what's happening. They don't understand the policies. And I say this too. We get into culture wars, and culture wars are nothing but politics for the everyday person. It's politics that the everyday person understands. We're not talking about policies. So you can do culture wars and just gut people with real policies, right? I know you say you went to Dollar Tree and it's $1.50 now.
Yeah, $1.50 tree.
You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be $1.75. And I think I made this point, Ice, that in the new America, businesses are no longer trying to service all the customers. They're trying to get as much money out that they're trying to raise the price on that one customer they got. We're not trying to get new customers. How can I get an extra 25 cents, $30, $40 from this smuck? That's in the new America, and that's how they think, bro. And I think, like I said, all the workers who got screwed, it's just one example of a group who voted for Trump. I mean, that's probably happening in a lot of local police departments. It's happening in the military. It's happening in the federal government. It's happening to a lot of people who really believe these things that Trump said, and they went in for it. And now they're looking up, and you're an auto worker. China's coming in, and Trump is saying he's going to hold back the money for the bridge. He's going to hold back the federal money for the bridge, bro. And that's the new America. People don't know what the heck is going on. They voting.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. Like,
you there, bro? Yeah, what'd you say?
Yeah. It's just so crazy. I was saying it's just so crazy how we got into this point where literally, like Trump is weaponizing the federal government, and he's literally using it as a concierge service. So if you need to do something, you need to go invade a country, or just steal some money, he'll just have his cronies do it. But at the same time, it's just so the American people are just kind of like, a lot of them, the voters, we're talking about the voters, the people who voted this man in office, they are so disconnected from reality. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about their vote. And you do have some that's regretting their vote. That's like, you know what? I regret my vote. And they coming out. But the vast majority of Trump supporters who silently voted for him, they don't want to talk about it. And they don't, even the ones that was loud, proud, strong, and wrong. Some of them are kind of like, that don't make sense, whatever. Because you can't lie about your wallet book. You can't lie about your gas bill that you got, your electric bills that you're getting. You can't lie about these things. You can't lie when you go to the grocery store, but you can't lie when you're watching WWE style politics and people are telling you how great the economy is, and they're just simply gaslighting the heck out of you. Premium gas, by the way. And it's just so sickening because stand on your vote. You voted for Trump. You voted for this. Now stand on this, because you got to look your kids in the eye when they can't go to Disneyland because they can't afford to go. You're going to have to look. You going to look them in the eye when you can't be able to have a good Christmas or whatever. The 4th of July, you can't take them anywhere, or you got to go to some second stream place that you really didn't want to go. That's on you because you voted for this. Tariffs, groceries, electric bill. I can go on and on and on.
Man, them all good points, man. You cooking right now. All good points. All good points. I would say this, Ice. What do you say to the people who cooking? Yeah. So last point, bro, just for you. What would you say to the people who didn't vote for this and who saw this coming a mile away, man? What do you say to those people? A lot of those people.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I'm one of those people. I mean, we're one of those people. We did not vote for this. And it's almost like we're like hostages. We just like, we didn't vote for it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's so bad. So I would say to us is that
don't boo, vote.
We got to get back out and we got to vote again. But this time we got to give the people who did vote for this administration stuff, we got to give people an off ramp. Okay. We just have to give them an off ramp because we can't just, you can spend a moment in time and just kind of shame them, blame them and say all these things. But I don't think that's helpful. Right now, we need to welcome those people in and say, hey, welcome to the party. Welcome to the club. You got screwed. You got duped. Okay. We all been there before. At one point in time in our lives, we got screwed over by somebody who we thought was a good and right for us, but they ended up screwing us and stabbing us in the back. Come on in. Welcome in. And guess what? Welcome. Join the resistance. So if you did not vote for this and you're going through this whole nightmare, like we're going through this Michael Myers nightmare, you have to off ramp the people who did vote for it, bring those people in, and let's come together and create a resistance and get this guy out of office.
No, I completely agree, man. And the only thing I would add to this too, we get a lot of comments. Oh man, Democratic leftists, man, shut up. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say shut up because I didn't want to have a president that was messing with porn stars. Because I didn't want to have a president that was in the Epstein files, right? That was doing inappropriate thing with underage girls. You know what I'm saying? Oh, bro, shut up. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to elect a president who had a history of gutting his own businesses. You know, like shut up. Shut up. I didn't want to elect a president that took secrets and gave them to China. I didn't want to elect a president that was under Putin's, you know what I'm saying, manipulation. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to have a real debate, we could talk about those things. You're not about to hit us with this Democratic leftist, you Democrat. Bro, look at the facts. Shut up. Look at the economy right now. Shut up. Look at the economy. How's your 401k going right now? How's your job going? Shut up, bro. And if you want to have a real debate, we can, but you're not about to sit here and make it seem like we're these crazy Democratic leftists because we said no to President Trump, who doesn't even embody the quote unquote values that the GOP is supposed to represent. He's the opposite. He's the Michael Myers president. The Michael Myers president, bro. I'm sorry I didn't want to elect Michael Myers, bro. I'm sorry I didn't let Michael Myers into my house with my kids and my family, bro. I'm sorry I didn't let Michael Myers, you know, at my neighbor's house. I'm sorry I didn't give Michael Myers a clean knife. I'm sorry.
But not a clean knife.
No, you did. And when I see
Lie detector test determined you are telling the truth.
I'm just trying to say that. So if you're anti-Trump, it doesn't make you some crazy Democratic leftist. Somebody, you know, it does. You just don't like dealing with this type of president. Just wanted to put that out there, bro.
Yeah, of course. And these people, they some of them are bots. And for the people that's not bots, these are people who they're robots. The Trump administration, everything Trump does is wonderful. Like they're robots. Like they're humans, but they're robots because they just feed into they snort Fox News all day and just feed into like the propaganda machine. So their brains are literally frying on Trump crack. Like let's just call it what it is. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Matt.
And like I said, and you know, we're kind of end. I know Ice, you always kind of got the anthem. Let's end on the anthem.
The anthem, let's go.
It's insane. For it's one term is more than enough. You're a shame.
Take care, everybody.